All right, we're looking at the P100 today. This is a cool camera, perfect for people that are kind of in between the world of having a full DSLR or exchangeable lenses and full manual control, and the people that don't really want to have a very basic point-and-shoot camera. This is the perfect middle ground. It offers you tons of features, stuff that you wouldn't find on any point-and-shoot. It has an incredible lens, and it has an interesting form factor. It fits really nice in your hand. It's not really small, but it's not really big as well. It's about the size of a big softball maybe. It has a really cool articulating screen. It does let you do full manual control. It can shoot up to 10 frames per second in continuous mode, and the best part is that it does full 1080p video, and when you combine that with the articulating screen to get kind of like low shots, it makes it a very powerful little tool. Now let me give you a quick tour. I'm going to show you where everything is on the camera. Start you off with the control dial, very important. Basically what this is going to do is put you between the different types of modes. So program, shutter priority, aperture priority, full manual control, and then a bunch of other ones, maybe portrait, scenes, etc. So if you're not really sure what you're doing, you're going to stick it right there. If you have a little bit more idea of what you want, you're going to do manual or aperture priority. Right over here is your power button. This is the shutter release as well as the zoom control. Right over here is a dial, which you're going to use to change your shutter speed or your aperture when you are in the manual mode. Right over here, cool, very cool. Left and right stereo speakers, not something you find very often. Now again, this camera does do full 1080p video, so it's really nice to add to that very nice stereo audio. Right over here you do have a button to release your flash, because this does have a full flash in there. There you go. Which is really nice in case you're taking pictures in the dark, but you won't really need to rely on that because this has a lot of great features for shooting at night. We'll get into those in just a second, but let's continue the tour. Now there's a few buttons all along the top and on the side over here. You're kind of used to seeing these already. The one you might not know is this one right here. This is the difference. This is basically the button that records video, but you have a couple different options. You have the high speed and you have the HD video. This is a display button to change the information on the display. This button over here turns the viewfinder off in case you want to use the optical viewfinder, and then just your average buttons, playback and flash and macro, exposure compensation, timer. And then this acts as your menu, and then you have a delete button that's dedicated, which is really nice. Down at the bottom, there's a couple things going on. First of all, I'm going to open this up. That is where you're going to stick your memory. This thing does work on SD cards and SDHC cards as well, and it has a lithium-ion rechargeable battery, which is to give you a ton of shots between charges. I would guesstimate, and this is just a guesstimate, of around 600 to 800 shots per charge, which is quite a lot. Also, don't know if I showed you this, but this is a really cool feature. The fully articulating screen. I'm going to turn the screen on and you're going to see it turn on there, so you can basically articulate the screen in the event of using it. If I want to get a low shot and I want to be seeing what I'm doing, I can go like that and look at my screen and do my shot. And if I'm doing a high shot, I do the complete opposite. I hold it up and I can see everything that I'm doing, so it's very useful, mostly for video, but also for photography. If you've ever been at a concert and you're holding the camera over your head and you're trying to see the screen and you can't, well, this is the perfect camera because you just point the screen down at you and now you can see what you're shooting at, which is really cool. Now, let's talk about some of those really cool features that I spoke about earlier. We're going to start off with the lens. Incredible lens. This is a NIKKOR ED lens. Now, what you're seeing there, it's a 26mm at its widest, but it goes all the way to 678mm when it's fully zoomed in, and that means extreme telephoto. I'm talking about more than any professional usually carries with them. They carry sometimes 400mm lenses and 300mm lenses. This is a 678mm lens, so it's a super zoom. Now, at its widest, it's actually f2.8, which is very fast. You see right there, f2.8 is very fast. At the full length telephoto, it's 5.0. That's still pretty fast. Now, not only does it have an incredible lens with huge amounts of zoom, but it also has built-in VR, or vibration reduction, which is basically a system that allows this camera to remove the shake from photos, so that when you're shaking a picture, it comes out blurry. With the VR initiated or turned on, it's not going to do that. Combine that with a very high ISO rating of 3200, which means you can crank up the gain very, very high. It'll give you a little bit of noise, but you're going to get a really sharp picture. And on top of all of that, the sensor that comes in this camera is a full CMOS sensor, but it is backlit. That gives you even more, better pictures at late night or when it's dark, low light conditions. Now, let's talk a little bit about continuous shooting. I'm going to flip it over here. It's going to be a little hard for me, so bear with me. I'm going to go into the menu here, and we are going to go to fine, increase the image quality. I'm going to go left, and we're going to go over here. Now you're going to see through all your menus, these are your movie options. It lets you select the different resolutions, 1080p, or if you want to go to 720, you can do all that. Electric viewfinder. This lets you do all the post-processing. This actually lets you do de-lighting on the camera, skin softening, so you can take a photo and then without putting it on the computer, actually edit the photo, soften the skin of the person, fix some skin imperfections, all inside the camera. You can also remove red eye and do a couple other things, which is really cool. We're going to keep going down. You can see you can turn off the vibration reduction there, motion assist, autofocus assist, all those options are there, and there's even more. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take it out of the video mode. We are going to go to manual mode because that's why the option that I'm looking at wasn't coming up. I'm going to go back into menu, and now you're going to see here are all the different shooting menu options. We're going to go to continuous, or this is actually the selector. This is how you choose whether you want to take one photo, lots of photos, continuous low, best shot selector, which is going to take 10 photos and then pick the sharpest, multi-shot, where it's going to take 16 photos in 1 second and then put them all into one picture, or the interval timer, which will let you do time lapses. Now the one I want to talk about is continuous high and continuous low. Continuous high is a sports continuous high. It's going to take an insane amount of photos very, very fast. And then they're going to be a little bit lower than resolution. Now low is your regular continuous that you're used to seeing on a DSLR camera. I'm going to go ahead and select it, and I'm going to point the camera at myself, and you're going to see while I'm waving, I'm going to push the button. It's going to take 10 photos very fast. You ready? There you go, 10 photos, extremely fast. So if you're trying to capture sports or something like that, it's really, really good for that. It's going to catch anything, kids swinging a baseball bat, tennis, football, someone catching something. Very cool feature to have in the camera. If you wanted to go even faster than that, instead of 10 frames per second, 120 frames per second, then yes, you could stick it into that continuous high mode, but that's going to take you a little tiny picture instead of a full-size one. This one's going to give you a full 10 frames per second at the full-size 10.3 megapixel image, and it's going to look absolutely incredible. So it's really good for capturing fast-moving action, and that's basically it. This is an intense camera, tons of features, full 1080p, a fast lens, a backlit sensor, so it takes great images at night, huge zoom, so if you want to reach out and touch something, you can zoom in from the top of a building and catch somebody downstairs. The 678 millimeters is a huge, huge zoom, and it's got the articulating frame, takes SDHC cards, and the price is right. So this is quite the incredible camera, and I really, really like it. It's the Nikon Coolpix P100. It's basically the top of the line for their point and shoots. If you have any questions on it, feel free to email me, and I'll see you guys next time. For more information on the Nikon Coolpix P100, type in N13-4690 into any major search engine.